Hello friends, welcome to Ashish Polala classes. Today I am going to start Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, in which I will introduce to you with Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 is also known as CRPC 1973. But before starting CRPC, it is very important for us to know in how many groups the law can be divided. From classification point of view, law can be divided into two groups. The name of the first group of law is called substantive laws, whereas the name of second group of law is known as adjective or procedural laws. What is the meaning of substantive laws? Substantive laws are those laws which determine the rights and liabilities of the parties. That means to say, under the substantive laws, the right and liabilities of the parties are determined. If we take some examples of substantive laws, then the Indian Contract Act 1872, the Transfer of Property 1882, the Indian Penal Code 1860, etc. are some examples of substantive laws. Whereas, on the other hand, adjective or procedural laws are those laws which prescribe the practice, which prescribe the procedure, and which prescribe the machinery for the enforcement of those rights and liabilities which are created under the substantive laws. If we take some examples of procedural laws, then Indian Evidence Act, the Limitation Act, the Code of Civil Procedure, the Code of Criminal Procedure are some examples of procedural laws. It is very important to note that the efficiency of any substantive law to a great extent depends upon the quality of procedural laws. Because unless the procedural laws are not simple, unless the procedural laws are not expeditious means unless the procedural law do not provide the speedy remedy, and unless the procedural laws are not inexpensive, then the substantive laws, however good, are bound to fail in achieving their object and reaching the goal. So, for the success of the substantive laws, the procedural laws should be simple, expeditious, and inexpensive. It is only the procedural laws which put life into the substantive laws. Because under the procedural laws, it provides the remedy for the enforcement of those rights and liabilities which are created under the substantive laws. And procedural laws implement the well-known maxim, ubi jus ibi remedium. Ubi jus ibi remedium means where there is right, there is remedy. The right of the person are created under the substantive laws, whereas the remedy is provided by the procedural laws. So, there is a great relationship between substantive and procedural laws. If we talk about the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, then we can say that it is the adjective, it is the procedural law. Under CRPC, there is not any creation of any right, and there is also not any right is taken away. That means to say, CRPC neither creates nor take away any right. It is intended to regulate the procedure which is to be followed by the police, the procedure which is to be followed by the administrative authorities, the procedure which is to be followed by the criminal courts for the administration of criminal justice in India. If we see the historical background of CRPC, then it is very important to note here that prior to the codification of Criminal Procedure Code in India, there were Mohammedan laws for the administration of criminal justice in India, which had many defects. Before the Britishers, there was no uniform law in relation to the criminal procedure for the whole of India. The Britishers passed the Regulating Act of 1773, under which the Supreme Court was established, first of all in Calcutta. Thereafter, the Code of Criminal Procedure 1861 was passed by the British Parliament, which had also many defects, which had also many flaws. Thereafter, it was the Criminal Procedure Code of 1882 which gave the first time a uniform law in relation to the criminal procedure. But this CRPC 1882 was subsequently supplemented by the Code of 1892. Then the latter code remained unchanged for a very long period. Though two times amendment had been taken place in this code in the year 1923 and in the year 1955. After the independence of India, the Fifth Law Commission was established in the year 1968 under the chairmanship of Mr. KVK Sundaram. How to remember the name of Mr. KVK Sundaram? It is very important that I am living in Kapurthala and there is a school KVK, Kendriya Vidyalaya Kapurthala, and that school is very sundar. So we can say that KVK Sundaram. KVK Sundaram was the chairman of the Fifth Law Commission, and this Fifth Law Commission was established in the year 1968. This Law Commission studied the old Criminal Procedure Code, and it also made various recommendations in its detailed report, which is known as 41st Report of the Law Commission of India, which was submitted in the year September 1969. The various recommendations which was given by the Law Commission of India thereafter incorporated while drafting the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. So, a draft bill was prepared and it was introduced in the Rajya Sabha on 10th of December 1970. So, this date is very important when the draft bill of CRPC was introduced. It was introduced on 10th of December 1973 and it was introduced in Rajya Sabha. Thereafter, this bill was referred to a joint select committee of both the houses of parliament. And thereafter, the Code of Criminal Procedure Bill, having been passed by both the houses of parliament, means after passing it by Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, received the assent of the President of India on 25th of January 1974. So this is also very important. When the Bill of Code of Criminal Procedure had received the assent from the President of India, it received the assent of the President of India on 25th of January 1974. Okay, and thereafter on 1st of April 1974, this code came into force in India. While drafting the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, three basic considerations had been kept in mind by the drafters. What is the first basic consideration? There must be provisions in CRPC for the fair trial of the case, and there must be avoidance of delay during the investigation or during the trial of the criminal case, and fair deal to the poorer sections of the society must be in CRPC. So these were the three basic considerations which had been kept in mind by the drafter, and these considerations has been very much taken care while drafting CRPC 1973. So what is the object and importance of criminal procedure? It is very important. Why we are going to study criminal procedure code? It is very important to know because law of criminal procedure is intended to provide a mechanism. It provides a mechanism for the enforcement of substantive criminal laws. And what are these substantive criminal laws? They are, first of all, Indian Penal Code, which is the major criminal law, and there are many other criminal acts. So, CRPC provides a mechanism for the enforcement of those substantive Indian criminal laws. Secondly, this law of criminal procedure is complementary to these substantive criminal laws because without CRPC, no substantive criminal law can succeed. Under the provisions of CRPC, it creates the necessary machinery for the detection of crime. How the crime will be detected? Provisions are there. We will study. Provisions are also made for the prevention of crime, for the arrest of suspected criminals, how the evidence will be collected, how the guilt or innocence of the suspected person will be determined, and how proper punishment on the guilty person will be imposed. So it creates the necessary machinery for the detection of crime, first of all. Secondly, prevention of crime. Thirdly, arrest of suspected criminals, collection of evidence, determination of guilt or innocence of the suspected person, and lastly, the imposition of proper punishment on the guilty person. The rules which has been given under the provisions of CRPC. The rules of procedure as provided by CRPC are meant to regulate the procedure which is to be followed by the criminal courts. That means to say, the criminal courts are bound to follow the procedure which has been laid down under the provisions of CRPC. What will happen in case the court failed to observe strictly the procedure as provided by the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973? Then they are termed as irregularities under section 461 of CRPC. But friends, it is very important to note that every type of irregularity will not vitiate the proceedings of the courts. And what are those procedures that do not vitiate the proceedings of the courts are laid down under section 460 of CRPC. In relation to these, it has been held by the Rajasthan High Court in state of Sohanlal AIR 1960, Rajasthan, page number 44, that CRPC is a complete code in respect to those matters which are provided by the code. But in case of those matters which are not provided under the provisions of CRPC, the court shall follow any appropriate procedure which is appropriate in the interest of justice and equity. But it is very important that appropriate procedure should not be expressly prohibited by the code. If that procedure is expressly prohibited by the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, then that procedure will vitiate the proceedings of the court. But if the appropriate procedure which is followed by the court is not expressly prohibited by the code, then they will not vitiate the proceedings of the courts. It has been held in the present judgment. So, when we are going to study CRPC 1973, it is very important for us to know what is the scheme of CRPC 1973, how to study the bare act of CRPC 1973. First of all, it is very important that there are total 484 sections which are divided into 37 chapters. Each chapter will contain some sections, and there are total 484 sections and 37 chapters. When we complete 37 chapters, then there are two schedules which are appended after the chapters. First schedule and second schedule. In the first schedule, classification of offences is provided. And that classification of offences is provided first of all under the Indian Penal Code and secondly under other criminal laws. After completing the first schedule, second schedule contains 56 forms, which are basically the specimen forms which are to be used for various purposes in criminal procedure. So friends, if you like this lecture and want to watch more law lectures on my channel on CRPC, IPC or any other subject, then please subscribe my channel. And do not forget to click on the bell icon to get notifications of my next videos. If you like my videos, then please like my videos. Moreover, share my videos, and if any of you want to take notes of my law lectures, then you can visit my blogs at lawarticles2020.blogspot.com to get notes of my law lectures. Thank you very much.